From downtown Scranton, this is Northeast Current. WQPX invites you to join us as we explore public affairs, current events, and arts and culture in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Now let's meet today's guests on Northeast Current.
Well, hello and welcome to Northeast Current. I'm your host, Lisa Marie Gurley, and as you can see, we're on location. And my guests and I, well, I guess you could say we're outstanding in my field, or our field, because I am sitting with award-winning directors. They are just the recipients of a very prestigious award at the Westchester International Short Film Festival, held not too long ago in April. Their film entitled Pitchfork won a fantastic, prestigious award. Again, directors Todd Oravic and Ryan Wood. Welcome to Northeast Current.
Thank you for having us.
So nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out to the country today.
It's beautiful out here. Yeah, absolutely.
Pitchfork. At first I thought, well, it's a slasher film using a farm implement, but then I had to think, when I read your trailer and some of your information, that it's a love story.
It is.
So before we give a hint to our viewers as to what the film is actually about, tell me a little bit about yourselves. Where are you from? And how did your love affair start with film?
Oh boy.
That's a long story.
Yes.
We have all day.
It started in college. We both met in college, and we had a love for movies, but we had no plans on making a career out of it. And
we were both in bands actually for the first part of our college career. So we're musicians on the side too. Yeah.
We started music and bonded over that, and we were in the position to make some cool original content for Wilkes University's public access cable program.
So you're local boys to northeastern Pennsylvania.
We are, yeah.
I grew up in Ashley.
I grew up in Kingston.
In Kingston. And your friendship started when?
First semester of freshman year.
Yeah, like we said, it started over a mutual love of music, and by having this opportunity to make original programming, we kind of started to dabble in film and discover that we really loved it. So when we were approached by Kevin, who wrote Pitchfork, it was our first opportunity to really take a crack at a real drama. So we got funding together and started it that way.
Well, let's give a little shout out to our writer, shall we? Kevin Connor.
Kevin Connor, yes.
Yeah.
And how did you meet Kevin?
We met him through Wilkes as well. He's actually a graduate of their graduate creative writing program. He focused in poetry and screenwriting.
They're a low residency program, so twice every year they bring all their students to campus during the week, and Ryan and I have been fortunate enough to help out kind of with the organizing and like the in-office stuff.
Great.
So, and that's how we came to meet Kevin.
So you're not only adorable, you're ambitious.
Oh, geez.
And what did you play? What instruments do you play?
I play guitar and I sing.
And I play bass and trumpet.
So you could have done the score to this film as well.
Well, we didn't, which would have probably driven us crazy. But
yeah, no, we couldn't have. No, I don't think we could have done it anywhere near as good of a job as.
Justin Root, who was actually a member of my high school band. He was the lead singer of my high school band, and he is now a music teacher in Texas as a graduate student. And I knew that he had always wanted to try his hand at composition. And I had a lot of faith in his skills, so we approached him very early on about whether or not he'd be willing to do some work for us for Pitchfork, and he was instantly on board.
See, kids, stay in school. You'll meet your future filmmakers and fellow comrades. Tell us a little bit about Pitchfork.
Pitchfork is a story about a farmer and his wife who are kind of having some problems with their marriage.
Okay.
And on top of things, their farm has been hit by an awful drought, and so basically our farmer has to decide, kind of make a choice between focusing on his livelihood and focusing on making things better between him and his wife, and he sort of hatches a plan to kind of make things right for them.
Without giving out too much of the information about the movie. It's only 14 minutes long, and the best thing about shorts is that they usually include a really great twist, and this film does. So it kind of leads you down one path and delivers on another. So.
And it all started with Kevin's script. I mean, when we first read it, we thought it was really terrific, and we were like, we can't not make this movie.
And who are a few of the stars in the film?
Our stars are Alicia Nordstrom plays the farmer's wife. Mike Lally plays the farmer.
They actually don't have names.
They actually don't have names in it, yeah.
The farmer and the farmer's wife.
Yeah,
okay.
The film has no dialogue, so we never identify them as any particular named character, but both of them have wonderful fleshed out characters despite not actually having names, and that's just a testament to Mike and Alicia's wonderful performances.
Marvelous. You funded this film in a very unusual way, I hear. Can you, without giving everyone on the planet the same idea, because we can't have that happen, tell us a little bit about how uniquely you gathered funds for this wonderful production.
Well, actually, go ahead.
Yeah, we realized that if we were going to make a movie like this, that we needed, at the production level that we wanted, we needed money to do it. It wasn't going to be able to be without a budget. So we went to crowdsourcing, and a lot of independent filmmakers are doing this now. It's a website called Kickstarter. You set a goal of how much money you want to make, and you basically put a plea out to the community and say, we want to make this, what do you think? And we hit our goal within 13 hours of once we threw the project. 13 hours we hit our budget, and then over the course of the whole budgeting period, we doubled it almost. So
amazing. 13 hours you had your budget.
Yep.
All your funding in place.
We went to bed and we woke up the next morning and we were making a movie.
Hey, they say that's how to make money while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the film festival. How many participants, how many films were incorporated in the process?
60.
Yeah.
60?
Yeah, 60 films.
You won out over 60 different directors?
There were a few awards. Yeah. The award that we won was Best PA Filmmakers.
Best PA Filmmakers.
There were 60 films in the whole thing, 200 entries total.
Did you see all of them?
We saw most.
We saw as many as we could possibly,
I think we probably saw 40 at least.
Yeah, definitely.
At least 40, probably more.
Yeah.
That weekend. So we were there for the whole weekend. Lots of really great movies.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. Well, I hear this cat was had a starring role. This is my own cat, Sunday, and we'll have to get a release form for her appearance here today. But when you're live on location, you just have to go with the flow. She's a sweetie pie. She did come across the street from the dairy. I live across a street from a dairy, so I tell people that they're the dairy, I'm the derriere. So I'm glad they didn't lie down the manure today. Tell me about the location that you chose for your film.
It was a very serendipitous series of events that brought us to our location. We actually had planned to shoot in another farm, or on another plot of land that had corn. I really shouldn't even call it a farm. But there was this massive warehouse that we were going to have to be really careful about how we framed, and as we approached the shoot date, we were starting to look for better locations, and for our purposes.
Oh, see, we didn't know each other yet.
Yeah, and
now we can film Pitchfork 2 here.
Yeah,
you realize
exactly.
that?
The sequel.
The sequel, yeah.
Of course, the producer and I have to have a little bit of a role, a little cameo, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Certainly.
Yeah, we can fit you in.
We want to,
sure.
Attach our wagon to your rising star, you guys, because I know that there'll be great things for you. Is Hollywood really your aim?
I don't know.
We both said, if we had the opportunity, we would definitely do it. But we just as much like the idea of just kind of making a living as independent filmmakers. That's really all all we want to do is make a living doing
Well,
this.
that's the thing you can do today, with all the different opportunities, with the internet and all the various channels. Back in the day when there were only a few network stations and when there were only a few studios, now, wow.
Right.
Infinite
The
options.
sky's the limit. Infinite options. Yes.
Distribution is everywhere now.
And distribution is everywhere, so you're in a great place in history.
We're very lucky.
Yeah, we're lucky in the amount of outlets that we have to screen our film too, because even after we do festival circuits, there's this great online market that we can distribute into that a lot of people, we just want people to see the movie and see what they think and get feedback.
And there's even
that's part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, there's even a short film network, attributed solely to filmmakers such as yourself. The history of your film we talked about. The future, maybe not Hollywood, but you may stay in the area because we have beautiful settings, obviously. A great deal of talent comes from our area.
Yeah.
There's really no reason that really high quality productions couldn't be produced here just the same as get produced in Hollywood.
Agree.
The great thing about living in this area too, you have the more urban settings like Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, and then 10 miles outside of that you have gorgeous natural locations like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's so true. And after living in the City of Angels, I'm very happy to be back in my roots here in Pennsylvania, and just thrilled to work for Northeast Current and to have the opportunity to work with such extraordinary fellas like yourself.
Thank you.
What do you see happening with the film?
Well,
right now we're awaiting the film's debut in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
We were just recently accepted to the Pittsburgh
not international, independent, Pittsburgh Independent Film Festival.
That's exciting. That's one step away from Sundance.
Oh, well, it's a few steps from Sundance, but
All right. Well, every step starts every journey, right?
yeah,
With a few
exactly.
steps. Oh, that's so exciting. Now, Pittsburgh. How many films will you be competing against there, do you think? A little larger of a
I think
body?
I think it's larger than Westchester, but I'm actually not certain how many films we'll be competing against. We probably won't know until we're there.
Now, winning an award already, do you think that'll be a bit of an advantage?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I would hope that would at least lend us a little bit of credibility, but we really try not to take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah. For sure.
And Pittsburgh, I'm sure, is going to have a wonderful showing of films as well, so we really don't have any expectations going in. We just want to go and watch great movies.
And
That's
meet
great.
people. That's the other thing that we're really out to do. I mean, the great thing about going down to Westchester is, we met so many other filmmakers, and they were just like, hey, do you want to hang out? It was nice to just kind of, make friends, talk about their movies, and,
Well, again, you are watching Northeast Current. I'm your host, Lisa Marie Gurley, and we are with Todd Oravic and Ryan Wood. They are award-winning directors, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Northeast Current. We are with Todd Oravic and Ryan Wood. They are film directors from northeastern Pennsylvania. They've just won a prestigious award entitled for their film Pitchfork, and right now they're going to explain just a little bit and set up a clip that you're going to see. Tell us about the clip you'd like to show us.
Well, what you're about to see is the point where our lead character, the farmer, played by Mike Lally, really notices and realizes for the first time that his cornfield is beyond saving. So that's where the clip starts, and it'll just take you through setting up some of the marital problems that really are the set piece of the film.
Okay, great. Well, watch this, a scene from Pitchfork.
Farmers and ranch owners across the United States are becoming accustomed to the cracked earth, dried reservoirs, and the little promise for rain this year's drought season.
Well, for you future filmmakers, we're going to ask our directors what type of equipment that they used, and who can describe it best.
I'll go ahead.
Yeah, go for
yeah,
it.
we shot most of the film. We shot the entire film on DSLRs, which are really popular for indie filmmaking right now because it's a
Okay.
very high quality for a very low price.
Now, is it film or is it video?
It's digital video,
Digital?
technically, yeah.
Okay.
So most of the movie was shot on a Canon Rebel T3i, and then we supplemented a lot of that footage with 5D. With
You
the
hear
Canon
that,
5D.
Canon? These are future filmmakers who can use your endorsement.
Yeah.
We actually worked with 25/8 Productions based in Scranton to kind of
great.
Supplement that
Great.
part of it. Yeah.
And,
So you're bringing economy to the area as well as talent and recognition?
well, we're doing our best.
Doing our best, yeah. But yeah, there's a great deal of talent in the area involved with this project.
And who edited the film?
We edited it on the Adobe Premiere Pro
Oh, okay.
system, which is unusual for a lot of editors, but it was what we had, and really editing systems are just a tool, and it's what we had at our disposal. but that's what we edited it on, and it took 8 months. It was 8 months of editing.
Yeah, I mean, we were full-time students finishing up our senior year, so that kind of lengthened the process a bit. We placed it through three cuts.
Three entirely different cuts. So
one of which kind of made the movie sort of horror filmish.
Yeah, we played with some darker tones in one of the cuts, and it didn't end up into the final film, but it was it just kind of shows you that when you make a movie, you have to really be willing to experiment with it beyond the confines of the script, if that's what serves the film best.
Sure. Yes.
And for us, it turned out that that's not what served the film best, but it was still worth that experiment.
Well, that's worth its weight to know what should go, because it's so hard to let your baby be cut up in little pieces off times, and then the film is too long or what have, doesn't make the plot progress.
Right.
So you had good discretion. Well, I'm just so pleased for you, and you'll have to remember me in your next film, because I know you'll be on your Star to Hollywood pretty soon, on the Hollywood Star Walk of Fame. I know that we'll see it.
I'm not sure anybody would be interested in seeing either of our names. They'd be like, who's that? we were actually at the Walk of Fame a couple of years ago. We went together before we made Pitchfork.
Right.
And we went.
It was cool.
It was neat, but I can't imagine seeing my name on a star there.
Well, try to imagine it, because I have no doubt. Not everyone's a filmmaker, and most of us don't know exactly what goes on behind the scenes. So, fellas, why don't you give us a little anecdote, something really unusual that may have happened?
Oh boy. Well, we filmed a great deal of this movie up in the Tunkhannock area.
Okay.
And we were out doing some location scouting, and driving back from my aunt's house, because we actually filmed a few scenes in her very old-style country home.
Okay.
We were driving back from there, and we passed this farm that was sprawling and beautiful.
Very picturesque.
Very picturesque. And we just kind of turned to each other, and we were like, how cool would it be to film here? And we talked to Kevin, the writer, who was very involved in the early process, even throughout filming, and we talked to him about it, and he said, oh, I might know someone who knows somebody who owns this land. So we found out that they don't actually have, this is an old couple, so they don't have phones, they don't have TVs, anything. So we went up to the front door.
Amish?
No. But we went up to the front door, back like in the olden days, and knocked on the door, and we said, we really love your land, we're making this film, we'd like to film here. And they were like, oh, that'd be great. We'd like to film here this weekend. And they're like, oh, that's fine. We need to tear out a 10 by 10 foot section of corn to film this. And they were like, oh, we can't see that, being an issue. We need to light some torches around that area.
Torches.
Just as long as you're careful, go for it. Yeah. So yeah, when we took we filmed the farm scenes over a 3-day period, and each time we had to call the fire department to kind of let them know, like, hey, if there's going to be a problem here, and so we're calling 911. We're like, this isn't an emergency, but we just want to let you know this is happening. And they were like, okay, great, but we're still going to come if something happens. So there was some reassurance there, but yeah, that's kind of one of the more.
Yeah, and even before we were looking at locations, when we were just auditioning our lead parts, we had some callbacks, and the people that we knew were going to be our parts, we let them know. It ended up being Alicia and Mike, and we brought them in to talk about their characters, and they had auditioned separately and greeted each other as old friends, and had no idea that they had separately been auditioning for these roles, and they had played husband and wife together countless times in theater productions, so the chemistry was already there.
So they were meant to be together.
Yeah.
As in the true nature of drama, we have nature against man, man against nature, man against man. So you really did hit all of the protagonist and the antagonist portions of your film. And I hear there's a bit of a twist, so we won't tell our viewers until they view it.
Yeah, the film just leads you down a certain path to make you believe that the farmer is doing something he shouldn't be doing.
Intrigue.
I won't say too much more besides that, simply because it's such a short movie. more details than that would give you away most of the plot. So.
Yeah.
Well, in viewing just the clip, the cinematography and your camera work is extraordinary. It looks like a very high-budget film.
Thank you very much.
Tell us exactly some of the things that you had to do to make it look that way.
Well,
There were a couple unorthodox filming practices that we had to experiment with. One of the big problems that we had was we didn't have the budget to light this large cornfield like we needed to.
You didn't?
So we didn't.
Oh my goodness, Spielberg wasn't there,
no,
with a checkbook?
unfortunately.
Okay.
But what we did was we had a lot of help on these shoot days in this cornfield. So we had everybody line their cars up, and we put we taped wax paper over their headlights, had everybody turn the car on and throw the headlights and high beams on, and perfectly diffused and matte lit a lot of the cornfield.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was just kind of a quick solution to a complicated problem.
A real field of dreams.
Yeah, it was a great shoot though.
Yeah. This being our first film though, and this is something that we kind of really discovered, through the editing process. We made a lot of mistakes during the filming process. So when we went into editing, it was a time to kind of pick out the best moments, and we were able to put it together true to Kevin's original script. So so it turned out, and somehow. And but we did end up kind of covering a lot of mistakes in the editing process.
I think it's marvelous, and I'm so proud of both of you. Congratulations
Thank
again.
you so much.
It was just a pleasure talking to you on such a glorious day.
Thank you. Beautiful day, beautiful property.
I look forward to the future of these two filmmakers. You are watching a clip and have been listening to and enjoying Todd Oravic and Ryan Wood, who are our pride and joy from Pennsylvania. As always, this is Northeast Current. We're saying goodbye for now, where we bring you extraordinary people doing extraordinary things in our area. Thank you for watching Northeast Current. We'll see you again another day.
Should I say anything, or just Northeast Current, handheld, take one?
You can do fire.
Okay.
Todd
And
was
she's
the
a
one that
great
called
editor,
the fire
so-
department.
Yeah,
so-
so
Alright,
have
that's
some
not
fun. She rambled, she rambled. So let me just perk myself up again.
Actually, the sun went out, and I was
I was
like,
as cool as
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
I was just wondering how
Definitely.
chubby I looked, because and our outtakes are hysterical.
Somebody like yourself comes on.
oh,
Oh,
you really
jeez.
shouldn't
No,
be
no,
embarrassed at all on our
No.
account.
I don't want to screw up your camera shot. Again, you're watching Northeast Current. We're on location with a winning. Yeah.
Two N's make an M.
Excellent. You're hired.
People don't know what happens behind the scenes in filmmaking, because that's what the editor's job is. Let me do a little mouthy thing.